All right. Hi, guys. My name is Vincent Reyes, and my presentation is entitled Notable Stargazers Building Upon the Foundation of Pioneering Astronomers. This is for Astronomy 10, Chapter 3, Essay Prompt 4. Write a short timeline of how Copernicus, Tycho Brahe, Galileo, Kepler, and Newton contribute to the foundations of modern astronomy. And we're going to start it off with the first astronomer, who is Nicholas Copernicus, who was born February 19th, 1473, and died May 24th, 1543. He was a Polish priest, and he is known as the father of modern astronomy. He's the very first European astronomer to propose a heliocentric model of our solar system, which basically means that the sun is at the center of our solar system and all the planets within our solar system revolve around the sun itself. This is in contrast to the geocentric model, I believe, which was proposed by Ptolemy and was the modern ideal of the time, I believe. Let's see. He published some books called 6 Books Concerning the Revolutions of Heavenly Orbs, which became the standard reference for astronomical research, largely in part to its mathematical techniques. He speculated the orders of the known planets correctly, which included the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Earth's moon, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. He also speculated that Earth rotates daily on its axis, creating days, and then the shifts of the axis created changing seasons. Moving on to our next astronomer, who is Tycho Brahe. He was born December 14th, 1546, and died October 24th, 1601. He was born to Danish nobility, and in 1572 he observed a supernova in the constellation Cassiopeia, which stayed in the visible sky for over a year and a half. In 1577 he observed a comet, and from both of these observations and precise measurements he took, he was able to conclude that the comet orbited beyond the path of the moon. This proved contrary to the current belief of the time that the night skies never really changed. From these observations, he became pretty much a celebrity of his time, and he became friends with King Frederick II, who gave him like his own little island. I think it was called Uraniborg, if I'm saying that correctly. He also hooked him up with some money. And on the island, he built a huge observatory where he continued to study and observe the night sky. He's basically known for his data collection, I think. But aside from that, aside from his observations, he also contributed like instruments, like astronomical instruments. And I pulled this quote from the Galileo project out of Rice University, which said that he revolutionized astronomical instrumentation. Okay, moving on to Galileo Galilei, who was born February 15th, 1564, died January 18th, 1642, and he was the first to use a telescope to observe the sky. But at the time, I don't think they were called telescopes. They were called looking glasses. He didn't invent the telescope or the looking glass, but he definitely like improved it. And in 1609, he created a looking glass instrument which actually magnified the lens up to 20 magnification or something like that. And he started looking at the moon, and he was able to document all the phases of our moon. The following year, 1610, he pointed the looking glass at Jupiter and discovered 4 of Jupiter's moons. And to this day, they are named after him. They're called the Galilean moons. He also is known for backing Copernicus' theory about the heliocentric model of our solar system, which was pretty controversial at the time. I think Copernicus published those books posthumously, so like that heliocentric model was very controversial at the time. But anyway, moving on to Kepler. Johannes Kepler, born December 27th, 1571, died November 15th, 1630. Now, he was the first to publish writing defending Copernican systems. So Galileo is known for backing him, but Johannes Kepler was actually the very first person to publish writing defending him. He is known for Kepler's law of planetary motion. The first one states that all planets or planetary orbits orbit with an ellipses. The second law of planetary motion is the law of equal areas. And this says that planets move faster when they are closer to the sun and slower when they are further away from the sun. I think the model from the lecture notes was the spinning figure skater and how she had her hands and arms out from her and she was rotating slower. And when she pulled her arms in, that's when she started rotating faster. His third law of planetary motion is kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to try. A planet's time for orbit, represented by the letter P, correlates with its semi-major axis, also known as it's kind of like the radius of the planet or something. And the equation that correlates the two is P squared equals A cubed. So the time for orbit squared is equal to the radius cubed. I think that's it, right? Okay. Yeah. Moving on to our last guy, who is Sir Isaac Newton. Born January 4th, 1643. Died March 31st, 1727. And he's the guy who created the laws of motion. The first law of motion is the law of inertia. Objects stay in motion unless they are acted upon or acted on by a force. The second law of motion is the law of acceleration, meaning the force needed to accelerate an object depends on the mass and acceleration. The smaller the mass of an object, the less force needed to accelerate it, and vice versa. The larger mass of an object, the more force is needed to accelerate it. And then the last law of motion is the law of force pairs. So any action has an equal and opposite reaction. And I believe the lecture notes gave us an example with the rocket and how it was shooting up into the sky and then there were flames coming out. So that's equal and opposite reactions. Yeah. So, and then I'll leave you guys with this quote. The scientific man does not aim at an immediate result. He does not expect that his advanced ideas will be readily taken up. His duty is to lay the foundation for those who are to come and point the way. And that's by Nikola Tesla. And I just included that because I felt like it really embodied the foundation of work that these guys did. They all worked, starting with Copernicus. He was like the guy who put down the foundation and then of the heliocentric model, and then everybody built upon it, which is kind of awesome. These are my sources. And I don't know what happened. Accidentally clicked on that. Thanks, Slides Go, for the artwork. Thank you very much. Have a good day.